Hi everyone, today and for the next few days I'm in sunny Devon and I'm going to be focusing on bird life, mainly wetland birds. As you can see behind me you've got the estuary and quite a lot of bird life on there. You can't really see through the camera, most of the birds are pretty small. One bird in particular which I'll be focusing on is the avocet. It's a winter visitor here. It's not a super common bird. There's about 1,500 breeding pairs in the UK in the summer. In winter that number rises to around 7,500 individuals. And I've already had a really nice time photographing some yesterday, so check out a few of these pictures and hopefully over the next few days I'll be able to get a few more. And tomorrow morning I'm actually going to try my luck with a kingfisher. There's a spot that I visited about 2 years ago and I had a bit of success with a kingfisher then, so it'll be great to see that once more over the next couple of days. Anyway, let's get down into the mud. I've got all my waterproof gear on. But it's definitely going to be pretty wet and muddy down there, but it should be good fun. So as you can see, it's a pretty dull day, and to combat that what I'm doing is using a 300mm f2.8 lens, which just means that the aperture is wide open and lets in as much light as possible. So although I don't quite get that reach that I would get if I used my 2x extender to make it a 600mm, I should get a really sharp, clean image. And the other thing I'm doing is using exposure compensation to manually boost the exposure and get a slightly brighter image than I might otherwise. There's an avocet about 30 meters away from me, but sort of right in there in the mud, and if I head in there I'm just going to start sinking. So I'm going to have to stick to this seaweed and these rocks to avoid getting completely covered in mud. But yeah, hopefully it's going to make its way towards me shortly and I can get some nice images. So I'm really committed to the cause here, and this might sound strange, but I love lying down in the mud and in the rain. It just makes it feel so much more special when you take a picture that you like. And at the moment I'm just getting a bit of video for you, just to show the avocet doing its classic sifting behaviour as it sifts through the layer of the mud with its long curled beak, just to sort of get the worms that it likes to eat. Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant down here, and there's about 100 to 200 godwits in the distance as well. I think that's what they are. I'm not amazing with my bird life. It's something that I'm aiming to improve upon, but spending time like this in the mud with the birds is the best way to do that. All of a sudden the sun has come out and an egret has landed right in front of me. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm getting some really nice backlit shots. And it's just preening and it's so comfortable and this light is just perfect. I've got to go back to work in about half an hour, which is gutting. I could just sit here with it all day. So this morning I'm looking for a kingfisher, which is pretty optimistic. I think even if I see one I'll be surprised, so to get a photo is a whole other story. A little tip though is, often with kingfishers you'll hear them before you see them. So if you search in YouTube kingfisher call and just tune your ear in, then listen to that sound when you're out and about, and more often than not you'll hear it and then you'll see it. So if you hear that sound and you know what it is, then you'll be on the lookout for kingfisher and you'll find that you see them far more often, and that's what I'm going to be trying to do this morning. So before it starts pouring with rain, I'm going to head home. Unfortunately I haven't seen the kingfisher, but that is what I expected, and I have been really pleased with the image I've got in the last 2 days of the avocet and the little egret. And as most of you will know, with wildlife photography it is so rare that everything goes your way. So I'll wrap it up there. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. If there's any content you want to see in future, then drop something in the comments. And thank you to everyone so far who subscribes. I'm going to try and put as many videos out as possible. It's hard when you're working at the same time, and when I live in London there's not a huge amount of wildlife to photograph, but every time that I do leave London I'm doing my best to get some content for all of you.